Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Excuse my appearance. I just got out of the shower. So today's video, I want to tell you my story of my journey and the reasons why I started the peer support videos and the reason why I find that it's very important. Oh, my hot dogs are ready. Let's go get those. Basically, in one of my videos, I was gonna write you guys, or write a book about my story, but I also want to tell it on camera as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sorry I'm eating while I'm doing this. Like I said before in my videos, I am diabetic, so I do need to eat something. And hopefully this will hold me over until lunchtime. Hot dogs for breakfast, yum. But basically, like I was saying, I want to do this is because, seeing a lot of people doing this type of thing, and I've already started my videos, and I know you guys seen a lot of my videos, but you don't know exactly why I started doing the videos, and so I want to tell you the why. So basically, I am a 43-year-old, and I have intellectual disabilities, and I have autism. And I also have a lot of mental health, a lot of things to do with the mental health as well. So, and that is the reason why I started doing these videos, because I wanted to show you what my day-to-day looks like, or what, I've accomplished, what I do, and all that, to show you that people with disabilities can live in their own apartment and do what they need to do throughout the day. So, but I want to start this story from the beginning and talk about what it was like growing up. So basically, I grew up in Maine. I had two siblings, a brother and a sister, of course my parents. And I really didn't do too much. I mean, growing up was hard for me because I had a hard time connecting with people. And I also had a hard time, like, if people told me a joke, they're like, oh, why aren't you laughing? Because I'm just like, I don't know. It's part of my brain doesn't work, I guess. I have no idea. I mean, some of the jokes were funny, and some of the jokes weren't funny. So, growing up, also, I didn't have very many friends. Mostly, I played with my brother and my sister, cousins, and family members at home. And then at school, I only had like maybe a few friends, like not very many friends, and to me, I've had like mostly guy friends than actual girl friends, and so that made things a little hard for me because, I would have loved to have people come over and spend the night, and there's been a few times where I've had, but it just basically didn't work out so well because I didn't really want to do anything when they were over, and so it made it hard. And I don't know if it was because of the disability I was struggling. I just basically stuck to myself most of the time, so I struggled with a lot most of the time. So basically, even like when my sister wanted to play, I wanted to be left alone, and looking back at that, I do kind of feel bad, and I wish that I did more with my sister growing up, because now I barely see her right now, and she's got kids of her own, and I don't see them very much. So I kind of wish that I could go back in time to do more things with her, but I was mostly just a shut-in. I didn't want to really do anything. So basically, and that made things hard, mostly. And then going to school was okay for the most part. The only hard part that I've had to deal with is I always felt like people were treating me differently because of my disability. I felt like I was getting babied a lot. And a lot of people know I hate getting babied. And so, and I think that they didn't know that I noticed that I was getting babied a lot. And so, and I used to hate it a lot. My mother always did it to me all the time. And so and then a lot of my family started doing it, and I just hated it. Them doing that to me. And then once I started hitting junior high, middle school, high school, whatever, my brother and I used to go to the same schools, and he noticed that I was getting picked on, so he stuck up for me, and I actually liked that he actually stuck up for me. And this went on until high school. But the only difference is that because my brother was defending me, the high school kicked him out, and he had to get his GED. And I really wasn't happy about that, and I blamed myself a lot, and I felt bad a lot, even though people say it wasn't my fault. But to me, I felt like it was my fault, so I do internalize things a lot, and I feel bad a lot. So people tell me not to feel bad, it's like, but I can't help it. That's just the way that I am. That's just the way that I'm made. That I internalize a lot of stuff. So, and then during high school, I used to act out a lot. I used to act out when I was bullied. I've tried hurting myself a few times. I took a bottle of pills a few times, and I actually got committed once because of the attempts of the pills and all that stuff. And the reason why, this is not stuff I like to talk about, but it just kind of gives you an idea of things that I've had to deal with. And that was part of my depression because I was bullied. I had a lot of issues growing up, like I said, and like there's just a lot of stuff going on at that point, and I just couldn't deal with it. So and my self-esteem started, I had a lot of low self-esteem as well growing up. So after I graduated, high school, I ended up going to, I ended up in a group home because my mother didn't know how to deal with me at the time. And I don't blame her. Because during that time, I was going through a lot. But I didn't know how to communicate and tell people what was wrong. And I'm not saying that's an excuse, but that's what happened. So and then when I first got to the group home, I was okay with it at first. I met the people, got my own room. Some of the staff were nice. So I thought, okay, maybe I might like it here. But the good thing too was I got to go home on the weekends and holidays and all that. So I got to see my family a lot. I think that ever since what happened, a lot of my family doesn't want anything to do with me or has a hard time interacting with me. And I get it. I understand that part. And, I don't blame them for all of that. if they're still mad at me, they're still mad. I get that part. I mean, my siblings and I do interact. My brother and I, not so much. We just kind of like say hi and bye and whatever. My sister and I will have a conversation, but I think things weren't, I don't know. Ever since then, it's, people have a hard time connecting with me, and I get that, like I said. And my dad and I are actually are starting to have a good relationship now. Trying to put what happened behind us. It's hard moving on. But and I'm surprised that we are trying to make amends. Or he is trying to make amends anyway. But like I was saying, like with the group homes, I did like it at first. I mean, I did have 5 other roommates, 4 girls, 1 guy. Poor kid was outnumbered, or the poor guy was outnumbered, but, and I did like it for the most part until I found out a lot of the rules, and then I didn't like a lot of the rules that they had there, and I felt like a lot of my freedom had been taken away, because like with the rules, like understanding the cleaning, like I like to be I couldn't stay in my room. If I wanted to stay in my room, they wanted us in that common room for the most part. So there is the common room, which is the living room, where everybody hangs out, or the dining room, or stuff like that, where everyone hangs out. Chores, everyone gets divided up chores. Everyone does their own chores, which I can kind of see that. But then when it came to eating and all that, I have diet restrictions, and they always took advantage of that. If I wanted to go visit someone, it always had to be planned, or you couldn't go. And so when I had a boyfriend at that time, things were a little hard at that time. And I used to hate it. But yeah, I just really hated that a lot. Oh, just give me 1 second. But yeah, so when it was, like I say, it was hard to at least have that part. Even going to with my family, because they always had to have, you know, I don't know if it had to do with family, but I'm mostly friends, boyfriends, whatever. And like if I had Sean over, he was my boyfriend at the time. Sean, not real name. They always like we always had to be in the common room. There was no privacy allowed. Like if we wanted to go for a walk or whatever, someone had to be with us. It was ridiculous. The only time we ever had any privacy was when I went to spend the night there. And I know he didn't like it either. So one night I went to spend the night at his house. We actually got some privacy. But not only that, I used to get blamed for a lot of stuff, and so that's what made things really hard for me too. You know what? We're not doing this.